Hello and welcome to this video on emotional freedom techniques, or EFT. And I've done a video on this before using a slightly different sequence. However, I've just done a new training with UK trainer Carl Smith, and I really like this new sequence I've learned that has a couple of additional tapping points. So I strongly suggest you read the accompanying notes or email that came with this video, just to get a little bit of background and a bit more of an understanding about EFT. So I'm just going to, in this video, I'm just going to take you through the sequence and tell you a little bit about how you can use EFT. So the title says it all. It's emotional freedom techniques. So you're freeing up old emotions that are maybe sort of trapped emotions, trapped feelings. It could be fears, anxieties you have. It could be anger, frustration. All these things can be tapped on. Now, some people say you can use EFT on physical conditions as well. However, we're just going to be focusing on the emotional. My belief is that a lot of physical conditions have a basis in trapped emotions anyway. So by releasing those negative energies, my belief is that you may well find other things improve as well. So we're just going to use anxiety for the purpose of this demonstration. Now, anxiety is a very broad term, and if it's anxiety about a particular situation or a person, then you can be a little bit more specific. So, for example, if the anxiety was around public speaking, you would say this anxiety around public speaking. But I'm just going to say this anxiety for this video. So tune into the feeling. Okay, so you might want to think of an event that makes you anxious, or a past memory that creates anxiety for you. And just as you tap into that feeling, then you're going to rate it out of 10. So 10 being absolutely through the roof anxiety, and 0 being calm and relaxed, you haven't got any. And once you have that number, then you're going to move to the setup phrase, and we tap on this soft pad on the side of your hand just below the little finger for the setup phrase. It's called the karate chop point. And as you tap that point, saying the setup phrase, and do these out loud. So, even though I have this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I experience this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. So that's it. You've done the setup phrase. Now, as we go through the other points, if it's been this anxiety about public speaking, or if you're doing a phobia, you might have said, if it's the legs on the spider that freak you out, then you might say this fear around the spider's legs. Then when you come to move through the other points, you can just shorten it to this fear or this anxiety. So the first point we're going to tap on now is the top of the head. And if you want to be really specific, you can pop your thumbs at the side of your ears and just bring your fingers up, and that's roughly the area you want to be tapping on. So you're just going to tap here and say this anxiety. Then the next point is in the eyebrows. So you can just use one hand. I quite like doing both at the same time. This anxiety. And then moving on to the bone just to the side of the eyes. this anxiety. And then just below the eye again, you can feel that little bony prominence, just tapping there lightly, this anxiety. The next point is just below your nose, above your upper lip, so this anxiety. And then the next point is just here, under your lip, that little cleft in your chin, this anxiety. Now the next point is, if you feel on your collarbone where you've got those big bony prominences, there's almost like a little U indent you can feel. So you're just going to tap there, this anxiety. And then the next point is just below the arm, so roughly where a woman's bra strap would be, this anxiety. And just take a breath and check back in to that, connects again with that feeling, and rate it out of 10. And just notice if that number's come down. And if it's perhaps gone from a 9 to a 4, then do another round of tapping. So just check in, is this still anxiety? Yes, it's a 4. Okay, this anxiety. This anxiety. I'll just do one hand this time. Side of the eye, this anxiety. Under the eye, this anxiety. Just below the nose, this anxiety. So just here. And just below the lower lip, this anxiety. And then back to the collarbone, this anxiety. And then under the arm, this anxiety. And then just rate again. So ideally you want to keep doing rounds of tapping until you get it down to 0. Really important. So always 0, okay? Like I say, if something else pops up and it changes from anxiety to anger or frustration or whatever that emotion is, then the next round is going to be on that. That will be this anger, 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 this anger. And again, get that down to 0. So every time you're aiming to get it down to 0. And be persistent with this. You know, it's not just one quick round of tapping and it's gone. You know, it might take a few rounds, and it's good to, like I say, do it every day. And if you can schedule in a time of day where you're going to tap through unwanted emotions, then that would be great. Now, little caveat, a couple of things that will stop this working. So making sure that you're not dehydrated, okay? So making sure you've drunk some water before you start to tap, because our brains need, our neurotransmitters and things in our brains that fire off, and our whole bodies need water to for those chemical potentials to fire across, and for that energy to move around our bodies Being hydrated is really important. So if you find that the number is not coming down, then go and drink some water, wait half an hour and have another go. Another thing is electromagnetic fields. So sometimes you may be tapping in a particular room in the house and nothing's really changing. Try moving to another room and go through it again, and just see if that makes a difference. So I would love to hear how you get on with this. Just keep practicing, doing it regularly, and you know, it's said that when you've been tapping for a while, if you're in a situation where you would feel it's not appropriate to tap, then just think about the points. Think about the points and go through that emotion. So just think tapping top of the head, this anxiety, and go through them, because you can actually still get a benefit from that. One other thing is you may find one point that you resonate with that seems to really be more effective for you, and that's your tapping point. And there may be times where you just want to tap on that point, and that will have a beneficial effect for you. So play around with it. Don't worry too much if you find that you do something in the wrong sequence. EFT is quite forgiving, but keep practicing. And like I say, I'm really curious and looking forward to hearing how you get on. So you can email me or message me on Facebook, and just let me know. Okay, that's it for now. Take care, and I'll see you all soon.